Dag. Hey, ga je? Are you leaving? No, I'm just saying hi. But dag means bye, right? Toch? Yes, but it can also mean hi. How to greet in Dutch in a formal way and an informal way, I will teach you. The only thing you have to do is memorize the phrases and mimic my sounds. Let's start with formal ways to greet. You can say goedendag. Goedendag, good day, super formal. Or goedemorgen, goedemiddag, goedenavond, goedenacht. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. You can also say dag, which is short for goedendag, which means good day. All of these are pretty formal and only use them when a situation is really formal because most of the time Dutchies use more informal ways to greet. Or say hallo. Hallo is more neutral, you can use it in informal and formal situations. When the situation is informal, so let's say you're with friends, with a neighbor, or with colleagues you see on a daily basis, then you can say things like hoi, or hi, or hey. All of them are correct. But you can also transform the goedemorgen, goedemiddag, goedenavond to a more informal version. How to do that? Well, replace the D sound, for instance, goedemorgen, goedemorgen. Replace it with the J sound. You spell it with an I, with an I in het Nederlands. Maar je zegt een J. Goeie. So instead of goede, it's goeie. Goeiedag. Goeiemorgen. Goeiemiddag. Goedenavond. Goeienacht. Dat is meer informeel. De goeiedag, goeiemorgen, goeiemiddag, the informal ones, you can use them when you speak Dutch, but don't use them when you write Dutch. Okay, so now you know how to greet, but let's do a quick recap. Zeg mij na. Repeat after me. Goedendag. Dag. Goedemorgen. Goedemiddag. Goedenavond. Goedenacht. Hallo. Hoi. Hey. Goedemorgen. Goedemiddag. Goedenavond. Goedenacht. Now let's add how are you. Hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het is neutral. You can use it in formal situations and informal situations. If the situation is really formal, then say hoe gaat het met u? Met u, with you. U is formal. Okay, and if you want to respond to this question and the situation is formal, then say goed. En met u? En met u? And now an informal situation. Hoe gaat het? Or hoe gaat het met je? Met je. Je is informal. Don't say jij, because jij is a subject, and in this situation, het is the subject. So never say jij. Only je or jou. Je, jou. What is the difference between je and jou? Jou is more stressed. So if you want to make sure that that specific person will answer your question. Je is more neutral, and when you use je, it's more about the verb in the sentence. Dus hoe gaat het met je? Hoe gaat het met jou? And then when you're going to respond to this question in an informal way, there's only one way to do it correctly. And that is by saying goed. En met jou? En met jou? En met je? Not an option. En met jij? Incorrect. The only correct way is to say en met jou? Goed. En met jou? If you want more in-depth grammar and lessons about the difference between je and jij and jou and all of those things, then check out my Dutch courses. Things like hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het met je? Those are more textbook Dutch. In real life situations, you will also hear things like, hoe is ie? Hey, hoe is ie? Alles goed? Or if you live in the south of the Netherlands, in the province of Limburg, you hear Anne. And back to the beginning of this video, you can say dag, which is hi, and bye, but only do this in formal situations. So when the context is neutral or informal, then don't say dag as hi, but only use it as goodbye. Does that make sense? If it does, then hit the like button and make sure to subscribe for more explanations you didn't know you needed.